operational stage. Third, the concrete operational stage. And fourth, the formal operational stage. Once we have passed all these stages, at any age, we can achieve full human intelligence. First, the sensory motor stage, from birth to 2 years. In the sensory motor stage, we develop through experience and movement. By honing our 5 senses, our brains want to see, hear, smell, taste, and touch as much as possible. First, we begin with simple reflexes, and soon after, we develop our first habits as amilebulkanids. From 4 months of age, we become aware of things outside our bodies. And as we grow older, we learn to act intentionally. This is a significant milestone in the development of working memory, or in piaget terms, our awareness of object permanence. Before, our mother might show us a teddy bear, then hide it, and we think it's gone. After that, we understand that objects still exist, even if we can't see them. We become curious about everything. We want to smell flowers, taste food, hear voices, and talk to strangers. To learn more, we begin to move. We learn to sit, crawl, stand, walk, and even run. This increased physical mobility ultimately leads to increased cognitive development. However, we remain egocentric, meaning we can only understand the world from our own perspective. Second, the pre-rational stage occurs between the ages of 2 and 7. Our thinking is primarily categorized through symbolic functions and intuitive thinking. We have many fantasies and believe that objects are alive because we are not yet capable of performing specific cognitive activities. Peugeot called this stage pre-rational. We learn, speak, and understand that words, pictures, and gestures are symbols of something else. When we draw our family, we don't think about depicting each person to scale, but rather about their symbolic meaning. We enjoy pretend play, which allows us to experience new things and learn a lot. By the age of 4, most of us become very curious and ask a lot of questions. We want to know everything. This is called the birth of primitive reasoning. Piaget called it the intuitive phase. This is because although we realize we have a great deal of knowledge, we don't know how we acquired it. Our thinking at this stage is still quite egocentric. We think others see the world the way we do, but we still don't understand that they see it differently. The third year, the concrete operational stage, ages 7 to 11, begins. We finally discover logic and develop concrete cognitive activities, like arranging objects in a certain order. One example is inductive reasoning. This means that if we see someone eating a cookie, we can draw conclusions and then make generalizations. We also begin to understand the concept of conservation. We understand that if we pour orange juice from a regular glass into a taller glass, the amount will remain the same. Our younger sibling will choose the taller glass, thinking they'll get more. Using the same logic, we can then understand that 3 plus 5 equals 8, so 8-3 must equal 5. Our brains learn to restructure our thoughts, classify, and build concrete mental structures for activities that imagine pisata. For example, we now know that we can reverse an action by doing the opposite. Excited by our new mental abilities, we apply this in conversations, activities, and writing, and at school. As a result, we become more aware of ourselves. We begin to understand that our thoughts and feelings are unique and not necessarily shared by others. This means we learn to put ourselves in others' shoes. Fourth, the formal operational stage, ages 12 and up. Once we become teenagers, we begin to engage in formal activities. We now have the ability to think more rationally about abstract concepts and hypothetical events. Our advanced cognitive abilities allow us to understand abstract concepts like success and failure, love and hate. We begin to have a deeper understanding of our own identity and morality. We also think we understand why people behave the way they do. And as a result, we can become more empathetic. Our brains can now perform deductive reasoning, meaning we can compare two statements and reach logical generalizations. Our new mental skills allow us to systematically plan our lives and prioritize. And we can make assumptions about events that have no connection to reality. We can also now philosophize and simply think about our thoughts. This new sense of identity also creates egocentric thinking, and some begin to perceive an imaginary audience constantly watching them. Ethnicity. Piaget believes in lifelong learning but asserts that the formal operational stage is the final stage of our cognitive development term Uspant. John Piaget's first interest was animals, and he published his first scientific work on albino sparrows in 1907 when he was only 11 years old. In 1920, he began listening to standardized intelligence tests. He noticed that younger children consistently made mistakes that older children did not. He concluded that they must think differently and spent the rest of his life studying children's intellectual development.
Oke. Baik. Bagaimana